All right, welcome to Daily Spend, and this is the instructional video on how to use the Daily Spend spreadsheet. If you're a little confused as to why you're here, that could be one of two reasons. Either one, you have found this video on YouTube and you've not gone through the process. If that be the case, I would suggest go to dailyspend.net, subscribe to the process. It's quick, it's simple, it's free, and this will get you back to this video, which will then explain to you how to use the daily spend method with the daily spend spreadsheet. The other reason would be that you actually did subscribe, but you did not click on the link in the thank you page or the email, which got you to the system page. That would have taken you through, of course, the concept of the daily spend. Also would have taken you to the link, the template link, which we were just showing you. And how to save it on your own Google Drive. And then, of course, we'll bring you to the video that we're on now, which is how to use the daily spend. So you're going to need to go back through that process. And if you don't have the email, just go ahead and subscribe again, and you'll get the email. Okay, one more disclaimer I want to make you aware of. There are two different techniques with the daily spend. There is the basic technique, which was devised with the concept of only knowing what you can spend every day given every pay period and the fact that whatever bills are due during that pay period. And then there's the advanced techniques, which takes into consideration paying yourself first and your daily goal, and your monthly goal and your safe months. These aspects on the advanced techniques we're going to go through on the advanced technique video. We're not going to mention them here, but it is the same spreadsheet, so you're going to see a lot of these things. We're just not going to get into them in depth. We might touch over them because we need to explain how they affect the basic, but we're not going to get into them. If you want to get into them, certainly you can go watch the fourth video here, which is Advanced Daily Spend Techniques, and then you will learn all about them. But for now, we're just going to go into the basics and talk about creating the calculations needed for to figure out what your daily spend is every day. Okay, so when you come in every day to the spreadsheet, you're going to come here to the summary and you're going to see what your daily spend is. And it's a good thing to go every day. Number one, to get in a good habit. Number two, your daily spend is going to change every day, no matter what, whether you spent money or you didn't spend money. Because if you didn't spend money, it's going to go up. And if you did spend money, it's going to go down. And you want to know what that figure is. If you didn't spend any money, it's going to be exciting to watch it go up. If you did spend money, even if you spent more than you're supposed to spend that day, at least it'll recalculate and you'll know exactly what you can spend the next day, even if it's a little bit less. That's the whole key to the basic daily spend technique. So the first thing we do is put in our bills. This is informational only, so you're just putting in your bill, your amount, and the day that it's due. And this is just for you to be accurate and remember and have an easy at-a-glance informational spreadsheet on what bills are due on what day. That's all it is. Nothing in the basic technique gets pulled from this spreadsheet, from this tab, except for this stuff down here, but that we will address in the advanced techniques. So I would suggest putting your bills in there because it will just create a much more accurate, easier to verify when you go to your current pay period spreadsheet, which is the crux of how everything works. So let's go ahead and get into that. Just real quickly, I don't want to repeat myself. So whenever you see something like this with a date, and it has this kind of gobbledygook up here or here where it's got this kind of formula looking stuff or this, you do not want to ever mess with those cells. Okay, those do not need to be changed in any way, shape, or form. Those are formulas, and if you do change them, you're going to mess everything up. Not a problem. You can email me and we'll get it fixed for you, but try to stay away from it if you can. If you see this where it's got a regular date, or you see this where it's got a regular number, go ahead, change it all you want. That's got a, you see it's got a formula, that's got a formula, that's got a formula, that's got a number. You can put numbers in, so on and so forth. So just wanted to clarify that. Here again is your daily spend. And these two things we're going to talk about real quick. All this stuff here, it's all advanced techniques. Don't need to pay attention to it right now. Okay, it doesn't affect the spreadsheet. Right here is basically what we do in the advanced techniques, just to give you a little taste, is we teach you that every morning you get up, you got a daily spend. You can choose where to spend it. the first thing I do every morning when I get up is I pay myself. So I go into my pay myself here. That's my daily spend. I say, okay, that's what my daily spend is. I'm paying myself first. And then it'll recalculate and tell me how much money I got left to do anything else that I want to do. But the most important thing is to pay myself first. If you don't want to do that, that's the beginning of the advanced techniques. If you don't want to do that, then you're going to need to go in there and just make sure that all this is deleted out of there. So you just hit delete. This will go to 0, which is fine, but it is a formula, so you don't want to touch it. Just leave it at 0, and it'll calculate without paying yourself first. If every time you want to pay yourself first, you don't do it here, you do it here. Okay, so that's just something that we'll get into in the advanced. We don't need to go through it anymore here. Okay, what we do want to do is understand how this whole thing starts, and basically. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get rid of this stuff so we can start from scratch. And basically, let's just say we have a starting balance in our bank of $1,000. Okay, and we're going to get rid of all this. Okay, and basically this pay period, we got paid on the 2nd. We're going to get paid on the 16th again. The balance in our bank shows $1,000. Okay, and we'll just make sure this one is the same. That's where we start. Okay, so you always want to make sure that you got a starting balance, and then whenever you put a transaction in, okay, let's say it's minus $25 for, let's just say, gas, you have to make sure that you put it in one of two places, either your balance, which means you went into your account and you saw, oh yeah, they took it out of my account, so now my account says $975. Okay, or if you don't want to do that, you need to put it in your out section here, which means it has not been taken out of your bank yet. These are data that you can change. They're just titles that I use. You can change them however you want. They're not formulas. They're just a way. This means cash after bills. This is my 10-year goal. This is reconcile. This hasn't been taken out of the account yet. And this is the final reconcile. You can relabel those all you want. Doesn't matter, so that you understand it better. But the basic is, if this balance here is 1,000 and you don't, and this is not 0, then you got to figure out, where's that $25? Oh, it's right here. Okay, so let's say you spend $25, or you have a $25 bill that's due 3 days from now, hasn't come out of your account yet. You have to either put it here and take it out of your balance, or you have to put it here and account for it somewhere else. And the reason you do that is this always has to be 0. If this isn't 0, you're in trouble. So you want to make sure that's always 0, and you have to start finding out where the problem is if this isn't 0. It's either here or it's here. One of the two. It can't be anywhere else. So the reason why you'll have to add things in here is because you're going to put bills in here that haven't come due yet. Okay, so let's say you got a bill that's minus $125. That's insurance. Okay, and this doesn't come due till 8/11. Okay, and this was due 8/2, 3, let's say. Okay, so now that hasn't come out of your account yet. Neither of these have. Well, let's just say that the one did, the $25 you spent on gas. Okay, that came out of your account right away. But this $125 doesn't come out of your account till the 11th, and it's only the 2nd of August. Okay, during that pay period. So you've got to account for that $125. You see that's reconciled here. You want to put the $125 here, and you want to put equals because you're going to be putting multiple amounts in there, $125, because you want to get this to 0. Okay, so let's say you got another bill, and that is $57 minus 57, and that's for wireless, your wireless bill. Okay, and that doesn't come out till 8/7. Okay, now again, you've got $57 to reconcile. If that isn't coming out of your account here and you don't change that balance, you go into your bank and you say, whoa, this isn't, $975 minus 57, this is still $975, then you got to take it out somewhere else. And so what you do is you go here, which says out, and then you add that one in. So you just go plus 57, and you add it in there. Now that stays at 0. The reason we do this is because these amounts, the whole point of this daily spend is you take the bills out of that particular pay period. So now basically you have spent this money. Okay, it's gone, it's done. You don't think about it, even though it's still sitting in your account. You don't want to think. You don't want to concentrate on what money's in your account. You want to concentrate on what you can spend today. Okay, so that's what's most important. You got to know what you can spend today. Now, as you go back in your bank account and you go, oh, that 125 showed up. It's the 11th of August now. This balance is now going to what? 850. Okay, so 850 is now your balance. Okay, now we're minus 125 because we still have it in here. So we have to make sure that we take out the 125. And then we're back to zero because we still have the 57 that's not there. So I know this is a little complicated, but the whole point of finding out what this daily spend is you make sure the transactions that are here, whether they've gone through your bank or not, are reconciled in your balance so that it comes out to zero. If they've gone through your bank, you're going to show up in your balance. If they haven't gone through your bank, you need to show them up in this section here, which says you haven't taken it out of your account yet because you want this to be accurate. And the whole point of this is you know you can spend $56.64, and no matter what you have in your bank, you know that $57, which hasn't been accounted for yet in your balance, will have no problem being handled because you already accounted for it in your daily spend spreadsheet. Okay, so I know this is a little confusing, but you can go back through this video. You can email me with questions. And believe me, when you get up every day and you go, oh, I got $56 to spend. Now, if I don't spend that $56, does that mean tomorrow I have $112? No, it doesn't. Because basically this will go to 13. Let's say this becomes 815. So you got one less day. It becomes $61. So it basically just recalculates with the amount of days. It doesn't double. And that may be a bad thing in terms of it going up, but if it was one day further away, it wouldn't go down that much either. You wouldn't have $52 less and have nothing to spend the next day, if you understand what I'm saying. So this does all the calculation it needs to do in order to give you what your daily spend is, and that's the goal here. And so, you get into this thing every day, you make sure all your transactions are correct, and you make sure your balance is correct. And if your transactions haven't gone through your bank yet, they're not in your balance, you need to add them in here. Simultaneously, or consequently, once they go through your balance, and let's say that becomes now, $793, okay, you got minus 57 here, so you got to make sure you take it out of the account here, or this cell here, because now it has been taken out of your balance, okay? And then your daily spend, it remains calculated correctly and accurately. That's the whole crux of how this works. You'll know exactly how much money you have to spend. You'll never overdraft again. You'll never write a bounce check. You'll never worry when you go to use your debit card because you will know what your daily spend is. If you have any questions, email me at damo@dailyspend.net, and we'll see you in the advanced techniques.